When it comes to parenting, disciplining children is an integral part of the journey. Discipline is not something that can be achieved through harsh words, punishment, or spanking. While it may provide you with short-term results, in the long run, it may take on a form of abuse, affecting a child's physical and mental health. Discipline, therefore, is all about teaching rules and regulations to kids and following up on the consequences. Abuse, on the other hand, is when you cross limits to get your way, hurt someone so much that it leads to severe physical, psychological, or emotional damage. Let's listen into Dr. Drew and his guest as they discuss the difference between discipline and child abuse.
You were right that there is an impact of authoritarian versus authoritative parenting. And you were right that African-American parents are more effective with this kind of discipline than other cultures. So there is a culture component.
But do you know why? They used to, like, black parents used to beat their kids so the kids would be in line, so the kids wouldn't act up outside, and the white people back in the day would kill them. So it runs a little bit deeper than
you know why psychologists are fearful it happens? Because of intergenerational transmission of trauma. Because somebody did it 150 years ago, and it just keeps happening over and over again.
But we see it happening over and over again.
Have you been to the jails? Have you been to the prisons? Have you spoken to them?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to the parents and how they were raised? Have you spoken to those of us who are educated and go to school and know how we were disciplined? And it wasn't abuse, it was discipline because we did something that was wrong. We were wrong.
Or you got spanked by what you looked like you were about to do.
Well, I gotta look. But we stayed out of jail.
But a look
and we
is
are
okay.
healthy. I'm speaking. I'm
work.
speaking. White people do things differently. We can't do that. You're watching them burn down our churches. You're watching them come in our churches and kill us. I'm tired of watching them killing my brothers. I'm tired. I'm going to discipline them before you guys get a chance to shoot them. You hear me?
That's a basic
I'm going to save my brothers. You will do the right thing. You will stay out of jail.
That's a baseless argument.
We can't do what you guys
baseless
do.
argument.
I got to show up to work 2 hours early because I get overlooked. You hear me?
Wait a
I'm
second.
tired.
That's a baseless argument. We were talking about punishment towards children.
We're talking about discipline.
Interview 100% of those people in those prisons, and I guarantee they say my parents beat me.
No.
100% of them will say that.
Hang on. We have somebody.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You go talk to them. You're making stuff up. I speak
So
to
are
them.
you.
I speak to them.
To say that to beat a child to prevent white people from killing him, that's mindlessly saying something.
Don't run your mouth without having facts. You go talk to them.
What facts are you presenting that if you're not beating a kid, he's going to be killed?
Mike, you're not helping me.
Beating discipline. That's not beating.
Denise, can you work in the prisons? What are the facts?
I do.
What are the facts?
Yes. You know, and Annalise is absolutely right, Dr. Drew. If somebody came upon a scene with a white man beating a black boy surrounded by a bunch of white folks with cameras, like a runaway slave, all hell would break loose. And for anybody to say that that's not true, they are lying.
But what about what you say? Okay, I agree with you.
Right about that.
All right.
Number two.
Yeah.
I have no problem with discipline. I have problem with the fact that this man grabbed a belt and beat this other person's child.
But
that's a problem.
Deneen, everyone's getting all upset. What about what this young lady was? Now, I'm very sympathetic to what this young lady was saying because she's tired of seeing things that we're watching on television that is horrible. Hang on,
Deneen. Has been punished with the belt.
Okay.
Every kid. I guarantee you that.
In prison.
Every kid. I worked in juvenile hall for 6 years.
Yeah.
Every kid there was beaten. I was corporally punished.
Right.
So it works for some people. It doesn't work for others.
Right.
You can't just say across the board, beat your kids and they'll stay out of jail. Because they end up in jail. They learn that violence is the way to do things. It's not appropriate.
And so,
for every kid.
You, as someone who works in the criminal justice system on a daily basis, what you're telling me is you're confirming what Mike is saying. You're confirming what I have experienced. That the physical violence sometimes does work, and people do end up. It's not as though you're necessarily going to have trouble.
Violence works. Fear of a whooping works too. I'm a whoop you. That'll work too. If you whoop them one time and then you don't have to whoop them again. But this constant beating for everything, they learn to react through violence.
And statistically,
in our society.
Right. Statistically, the probability goes up the more you see physical violence. Right? Is that true?
Yes. Because that's how you learn to express yourself.